Hi Howdy, I'm not feeling too well at the moment, so I'd like to apologise if my voice is a bit croaky. So, what is the application I've programmed? I've programmed a Treeant stealth game, but what is a Treeant, I hear you ask? Well, Treants are tree-like creatures. When motionless, they become indistinguishable from normal trees, but occasionally they will get up and walk around on their roots. They are very similar to Ents from The Lord of the Rings, but due to copyright infringement issues, they are definitely called Treants and most certainly not called Ents. The plot is that a tree's leaves don't actually turn orange and fall off or grow back again. What is actually happening is that treants in various seasonal forms swap places when nobody is looking. So instead of a tree's leaves all turning orange in autumn, what happens is the treant with green leaves gets up and leaves, while a treant with orange leaves takes his place, without anybody noticing. This is pretty much exactly what you do in game. You play as a treant who needs to sneak past humans, and then take the place of a treant who has already migrated. You use W, A, S, and D, or arrow keys, to move, and you can press P to pause the game. I'll give you a quick demo. If you press P, you'll see it pauses the human and the player. This should be a car here. Yep, if you press P, it pauses. There you go. We'll do a quick retry to show that there's a fail state. Yep. There you go. That's the tree game. So, how does the program work? Well, starting with the tree script, start with the movement. This gets the W, S, and D movement, or arrow keys. This normalizes the vector to stop the player going faster at diagonals. This moves the player. If the player's not moving, then it makes it lets the animation know, so it plays the idle animation instead of the moving animation. It's not really an idle animation, it's more of a stopping animation, but yeah. This makes the game pause, and this is the collisions. So if you hit the car or the human, then you get to the lose screen. Whereas if you hit the tree hole, then you've hit the win condition, and then it moves to the win scene. This is the start with the car patrol actually. So the car has a bunch of patrol points in an array, and they relate to a bunch of in-game objects. Hold on. Boosh. So you've got a bunch of blank objects all around this roundabout that are in this car's array here, which it uses to navigate around the roundabout. So the patrol point is the current one it's moving to. The end list is the list of endpoints. So here, for example, when the car's gone off the roundabout, and then the starting points are right next to the end points. So they're places the thing can come back on again, the car. So this gets the direction the car's going, normalizes it, gets the degree of the direction, and then rotates the car to the correct degrees to make sure the car's going in the right way. This moves the car. This checks the car has reached the next patrol point. If the car has reached the if it's reached an end position, so if the list of end positions, so the points outside the roundabout, it will select a random start position from the array of starts, which will put it back in a starting position to go onto the roundabout. It's random because that means that if the car goes off there, it can come back on here, or here, and that gives the illusion to the player that it's not the same car every single time going around in circles. And then if it's not reached an end position, then it just increments the counter by 1 to keep going around the roundabout. That pauses the car. The human's code is mostly recycled from the cars. You've got an array, you've got a list of end positions and start positions, you've got the direction code, again move the human. If it gets close to the point, then it tags it and moves on to the next point, or if it's at the last point, it'll move back to the starting position. And that makes it pause. So, and then you've got the scene manager, which I basically I stuck it on a bunch of buttons, and that loads scenes. It's fairly self-explanatory, I think. Yeah. And then you've got game state and the pause controller, which checks if the players press P, retrieves the current game state from the game state manager, compares the current game state to the state from the compares the current game state to the states in the game state, and then it makes the new game state the one that isn't the current game state, returns the new game state to the game state manager, and then the game state manager checks that the game state isn't the same as the old one, which shouldn't happen, and then updates the current game state, and then tells everything that the game state has changed, which is how everything knows it's paused. I think that, yeah, that's how the program works. I haven't really explained the animation. The tree uses it's got a skeleton. It's yes. It's got bones. I boned it up, and I gave it a custom like animation. I wiggled all the bones about, and recorded the positions. And yeah, I originally wanted to use. Actually, I'll talk about that at the end. Yeah, that's how the game works. How does it connect to this year's theme? Well, this year's theme is botanics, ecology, and nature. So I went to the Dundee Botanical Garden for some inspiration, and I was in the greenhouse with my friend when they joked that an exotic-looking tree with some spikes on it must have gotten very lost to end up here in Dundee. This joke personified the tree, and before long I was imagining this personified tree lost at the airport, getting on the wrong plane. Sorry. And ending up in the complete wrong place. The idea sort of flourished from there. Obviously, no one's seen a tree move, which is explained by the Treeants being stealthy. That's why it's a stealth game. I'm pretty chuffed with my game, even if there's a lot of room for improvement. Creating it has helped me learn C# syntax, and it's been a great opportunity to learn how to use my new graphics tablet. I would have liked to use procedural animation for the Treeant's roots, but I found guides on the internet a bit hard to follow, and required a bit of adaptation for what I actually wanted to do. I also had trouble using raycasting to allow humans to see the player, so I ended up just making the humans collider view cone-shaped and leaving it at that. I also spent a lot longer than I would like to admit struggling to get NPCs to move correctly, because I had left the gravity scale at 1 on their rigid body. Fortunately, I won't make that mistake again. If I were to continue development of the game, I would definitely work out how procedural animation and raycasting works and implement the features I struggled with. I think I would also add more enemy types, like humans with dogs who could catch your scent, and I would implement a planting mechanic, allowing you to plant yourself in the ground to disguise yourself as a tree, funnily enough, while humans pass by. And the time it would take would be dependent on the type of ground, so planting in concrete would take a long time, whereas planting in a flower bed would be very fast, allowing for the player to hide in plain sight if needed. Thank you for watching. Hope you have or are having or have had a nice holiday. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Kind regards, Eddie Wright.